I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Lynn Casper. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful day?
Pretty good.
It's a great pleasure to connect with you. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
All right, and which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
I believe my podcast. I think you came across me because of the work that I do with podcasting.
Yeah, tell us about your podcast.
So the main podcast that I have been working on for the past almost 7 years now is called Homoground, and it's a music show that promotes LGBTQ musicians, and we like to put a spotlight on bands and musicians that are making music all over the world. So there's people from various cities, from big, large cities to small southern rural towns, and we also feature all different types of genres. So there's something that will appeal to anyone's musical taste buds.
And you're playing the music on this podcast, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So who did you learn the skill of great music from?
Oh, probably my dad. Music has always been around me ever since I was little. There was always musical instruments around. He played various instruments, and I just remember riding around in the car in the back seat and my dad always having the music on, and I was singing along to my favorite 80s songs at the time. So yeah, music has always been a constant theme, and I think it's all thanks to my father and him having the same passion for music also.
Intriguing. So what has been one of the biggest challenge with what you're doing via the podcast and sharing the music?
I think maybe the biggest challenge is probably just staying consistent with it. Doing podcasting can be a lot of work if you're putting out new episodes all the time. So I think just, the dirty work is probably the hardest thing. But other than that, I get to listen to lots of new music, discover new bands. So that part is really fun and exciting. And, getting to actually go see these bands whenever they come to New York. I'm lucky in that aspect that a lot of bands do travel through New York. So I get the opportunity to actually meet some of these bands in person and get to experience the live performance. So I think other than that, all the hard work and all the dirty work definitely pays off. It has its rewards.
Why will you continue to repeat the skills of what is necessary to continue with the podcast?
I think there's always ways to improve. The format of my show has been pretty consistent over the past couple of years, but you listen to other podcasts and you get some ideas, and technology changes, so you have different opportunities to incorporate more interactive pieces into the podcast. So the podcast mostly started out with just kind of like a radio show. So me just introducing the songs and the bands and then playing the music. But since then, I've started including like little interviews with bands, having our listeners call into our hotline number and, talk about things that are going on with them. So just trying to make things a little more fun and engaging for people. So to give them a reason to come back and listen.
Or tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, Lynn.
I guess I would say I haven't done it every day, but pretty much almost every day is riding my bike. So that's my main way of commuting around New York City, and just actually a fun activity to do all around. So not just commuting, but leisurely and for exercise. I think I would go a little stir crazy if I spent too much time away from my bicycle.
What type of bike is it?
It's a Bianchi road bike.
All right.
So yeah, it's small and light and speedy.
Fast,
So it gets Yeah, it gets me to where I need to go.
How does it make you feel when you're out there riding, wind blowing in here?
Oh, you know what? I've been out of town for the past couple days and I'm just so excited to get back on my bike. You can definitely feel a difference. Like once you get back on, it's like you're home again. So it's like that saying, you never forget how to ride a bike. I think that's true. And yeah, just riding, especially in New York City where there's so many things going on around you, you have to constantly be paying attention to what's happening because you never know. You look
Could
away
lose
for
your
one
life.
second. Yeah. So I think that's what excites me about it is that it forces me to pay attention to what's going on. It forces me to stay present in the moment and not like drift off into a fantasy, which, I'm a daydreamer, so I like to do that.
Hmm.
And I think it just kind of gives me a heightened sense of, intuition and connecting me with my body. So I think it's a good exercise, like physical, spiritual, and mental practice, all contained into one thing.
Hmm. It is amazing how many people have shared for their earliest childhood memory a bicycle. It's really amazing. So you just expressing the physical, spiritual connection that goes with it. I wonder, right? Because
Hmm.
it always pops up, the bike, and it's the earliest childhood memory. So
Wow.
yeah. That being said,
That's
sure, go ahead.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that so many people say the bicycle is their first memory because that's actually my first memory too. I think I was definitely like less than 5 years old, so maybe like 3 or 4. I don't know, however early babies can remember things, but I was on the back. My mom had a bike that had like a baby seat in the back, and I remember being in that seat and I think she hit a patch of sand and we tipped over. And I just remember like the scene in my memory is like us falling to the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So that's,
amazing. I never heard that memory before because it was
oh
always
yeah.
someone on a bicycle, right?
Hmm.
To be someone that was hitching a ride, if you would, right? I've never heard that. That's pretty intriguing. So, why do you think this memory is so clear?
Um, yeah, maybe because of what happened in the situation, falling off of a bike that can be like a traumatic experience for someone. So maybe just, having that happen at such a young age probably left an imprint on me.
Hmm.
Um, but it hasn't kept me off the bicycle. So
Well, there we go. Yeah. Can I offer an
yeah,
interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
yes, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, I definitely love that. I'm expanding before you figure it out because I think you were about to. But I love the idea that I love the process of what failure allows to be created, and I think sometimes we step away from it and forget, or misinterpret it. So
Hmm.
it's fascinating to me that it took a fall for you to overcome the fear to understanding that you didn't want to be the backseat rider anymore and now to be the
Mm.
person who is controlling their destiny, and actually invigorated by the fear, of what could happen. Just like you riding now in New York, right?
Mhm.
Understanding that your awareness is so important.
Wow, I really like that. I never thought of it in that way. That's amazing.
Hmm. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh, so I was really into the singer-songwriter Jewel during that time. So
Right.
it would probably be "Who Will Save Your Soul" by Jewel, or some other song off of that album.
Yeah. It's amazing how it connects, right?
Yeah, it is.
Who will save your soul, right?
Yeah, always searching for that thing.
Hmm. Love it. Well, then, we've arrived at our destination now, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Lynn?
Sure.
Lynn, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Not yet.
Are you married?
No,
Do you have children?
no.
Do you believe in God?
My own version.
Do you have an inner circle of friends? Do
Yes.
you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Maybe.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh gosh. Embarrassingly, probably more than 8.
Then if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Lynn Casper, what would you say that is?
Hmm. I would say be your own hero.
Love it. Just like that. The girl that turned to be the individual that's riding her bike through New York City. Be your own hero. Lynn, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, but thank you so much for this opportunity. And yeah, I even got a lot out of it. And hopefully everyone who's listening can find the little parts of themselves that are superheroes also.
Love it. Lynn Casper, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.